welcome back to BoatFools Sailing. Thanks for tuning in last week. Thanks for tuning in this week. So listen, it's almost July. The month of June has been miserable up here in Maine. Foggy, rainy, stormy, and it's that way today. So what's better to do on a rainy day than look at boats? Nothing. So let's look at some really cool boats that are for sale by owner in the great states of New England. These are my top 10 picks if you were to buy a boat. There's some Smokin deals out there, and because they're fizz boats, there's no middleman, and there's lots of room for haggling. Now look, on that note, I am not a broker. I have no vested interest in any of these boats. I am doing this for fun and for your education, and I want to show you the coolest boats out there. And we're going to go over a lot of sailboat data today that corresponds with each of these boats, so you're going to learn a lot about each of them. So let's smash through these. Let's go have fun. You haven't missed a day of the 2023 season, so there's still time to get your boat and get out there and have a blast. Let's go. All right, ladies and gents, here we go. Number 10 this week, a 1987 Cal 28, list price of $7,500. Located in Marion, Massachusetts, my birthplace. I lived the first few years of my life there. Posted about 2 days ago by the time you see this, and per the owner, she's in good condition. However, she needs a new head sail. On a boat this size, I reckon the price for a new head sail is going to range from anywhere from $1,800 to maybe $3,000 or $3,500, depending on the type of material and size that you're looking for. Price it out. I'd also get a survey on this boat. She does have the original 13 horsepower Westerbeek, which on a boat this age, I reckon probably has about 3,000 hours on it. Still plenty of life left, but again, get a survey. These Cals are fun boats. These are really cool. And this looks to be like a nice example of one that just needs a little cleaning and scrubbing, and you'd have a slick boat on your hands. You got a nice transom hung ladder there, which is fantastic. The down below looks nice and tidy based on these fuzzy pictures. There's your head back there, your galley looking at the companionway, and here's your compression post. But overall, a nice example of a Cal 28, and these boats are fun. Let's look at the sailboat data. Okay, so what we're focusing on this week is our sailboat calculation. All right, let's take a quick time out and look at sailboatdata.com to make sure everybody knows how to use this. If you do know how to use it, you can keep moving on. If you don't, stick around. This won't take long, but it's important because if you're looking at boats, this is a wicked useful tool. So for illustration purposes, go to sailboatdata.com. I plugged in my boat, a Morgan 382. You hit search, and this is a free service, by the way, and you can compare up to 3 boats, which is wicked cool if you're comparing boats that you're interested in buying. In this case, you click on Morgan 382, and then you get a whole data sheet of your boat. And we're going to scroll down today and focus on sailboat calculations, because these top 6 numbers right here are the key ones that I look at when I'm comparing boats or considering what boat to buy. And the first one is the sail area to displacement ratio, and this one's key. So think of it as a scale of 0 to 30 broken into 3 groups. 0 to 16 would be considered underpowered and maybe a heavy displacement boat that's not going to perform well in light air. Anything between 16 and 20 is considered a reasonably powered boat. It's going to perform well in most conditions. Anything above 20 to 30 or above is probably a racing machine. So 16 is sort of right in the middle, and I know that for my intended use, which is coastal cruising and some racing here and there, this boat will do okay. It's not going to be the fastest. It will not be the slowest. The next formula is the ballast to displacement ratio. Think of a scale here of 0 to 80. 40 is right in the middle. 40 is considered a reasonably stiff boat that's going to handle and stand up well in stiff wind conditions and heavy weather conditions. Anything below 40, it might be a little bit bouncier and the boat's going to be less stiff, and it might not be quite as comfortable. Anything above 40 is probably a blue water cruiser and can handle most conditions well. Mine happens to be exactly a 40. Now, just because your boat might be below that, it doesn't mean it's a bad boat. It's just about intended use and what you expect in certain conditions. Mine's right in the middle. So I am comfortable sailing my boat around the coast of Maine, and I know I'm going to handle most conditions well. Okay, the displacement to length ratio, again, think of a scale of 0 to 500. Anything below 100 is considered an ultralight displacement boat, probably a racing machine. Anything above 350 is considered an ultra heavy displacement boat, which means it's a blue water cruiser with slack bilges, slow but steady, and can handle anything. My boat falls just about in the middle. Anything between 200 and 275 is considered a moderate displacement boat, which is where most boats will likely fall. And if you're looking to do coastal cruising like we are, this number is just about perfect. It's a moderate displacement boat, which means it's going to need a moderate amount of wind to get that boat cranking up to its hull speed. So the lower this number, the lighter and faster. The higher this number, the slower and more comfortable and steady the boat's going to be. I happen to be right in the middle, which is what we were looking for. All right, the fourth number is the comfort ratio. And this is sort of an ethereal formula that Ted Brewer came up with. And Ted Brewer actually designed the Morgan 382, so it's kind of cool. So basically think of a scale between 0 and 60. 30 is right about in the middle. 30 would be considered a reasonably comfortable boat in most sea state conditions. So if you're prone to seasickness, the lower this number goes, the more bumpy the ride. The higher this number goes, the more comfortable the ride. And our boat is about right in the middle. So I understand that it's going to be a reasonably comfortable boat in most sea state conditions. So again, if you're worried about seasickness, focus on this. All right, next is the capsize screening formula. This number was developed, or this formula was developed to determine a boat's ability to right itself in blue water conditions. And most of us will not be sailing in blue water conditions. But if you're thinking of transatlantics or circumnavigations, this number would be important to you. Anything under 2 is considered ideal for open water, blue water passages. Anything above 2, you want maybe stick closer to shore. But again, if you have a boat that you love and all of a sudden you realize your number is 2.5 or something on this, don't freak out and think your boat is bad. It's not. It's just not what it was made to do, which is probably go across oceans. However, the caveat is there are exceptions to every rule. There are plenty of boats that have done transatlantics with numbers or circumnavigations with numbers above 2. So don't panic. It's just a guideline. The last number we're going to look at is the S factor, which I call the speed factor. Think of a scale of 0 to 10. The closer you are to 10, the faster the boat. The closer you are to 0, the slower the boat. If you're into racing, this number is going to be important to you. Anything below 2 is considered slow or underpowered. That is my boat, though I know that my boat has done well in races, but it likes heavy wind. Anything above 2 is going to be considered a little bit faster. Anything above 5 is going to be a rocket ship racing machine. So this number is really designed for those who are interested in racing. The higher this number is, the lower your perf number is. The lower this number, the higher your perf is. For example, my perf is 165. A CNC 40 might have a perf of 93 and a S factor of probably 2.5 or something. That's just to give you a rough idea. So there you have it. Let's move on and go check out these boats. Now, for this one, you've got a sail area displacement of over 17, which means she's going to be pretty well powered and quick and responsive. You've got a ballast displacement of nearly 40, which means she's going to stand up to a good breeze pretty well. And you got a displacement to length ratio of 253, which means she's a moderate displacement boat. And a comfort ratio of under 20 of 19.16, which means more of a racer cruiser, not particularly comfortable in a big sea state, and not probably ideal for the open ocean, but certainly fantastic for coastal cruising and racing and weekending and overnighting and all that good stuff. You have a capsizing screening formula of over 2, which means, again, if you're going to do a transatlantic and you're terrified of capsizing, probably not the boat for you. You've got an S factor of just over 2, which means, again, a fast, responsive boat. These cals are well made. This is a Raymond Hunt design. It's a later model, and this boat would be fast. It would tear up a race course, and it would be great for coastal cruising. I love this boat, especially for the price point. You can be on the water with a new head sail and a boat for under 10 grand. Take a look. All right, coming in at number 9 this week is a really sweet 1988 Erickson 26. $10,000, Shelburne, Vermont, which is up on Lake Champlain. And in case you're wondering, yes, you can get there from here and vice versa. You can bring it down to the ocean or keep it on the lake. Up to you. Now, this has only been on the market for about 6 days, and she is cherry. Per the notes, you have a new fully battened mainsail and stack pack and new Raymarine electronics, plus a universal diesel, and it comes with new dock lines, new bumpers and fenders, has a marine toilet and holding tank, which is fantastic, and a gas stove with propane tank locker in the cockpit. This boat is cute. Now, looking at the pictures, I want to get to the down below, which is in really nice condition. And as you know, when you're looking at FISBOs or any boat for that matter, a clean down below is a mark of good seamanship, and that is what you want. The decks look nice, the hatches look great, the spars look great. Again, this down below is neat and clean. You got a nice fractional rig. There are your lazy jacks, stack pack, roller furling. This boat would be great for single handing, great for overnighting with a small family, great for coastal cruising or cruising around on a lake. I love this boat. These Ericksons are fast, fun boats. Now, I profiled an Erickson 28 on an episode of Anchored, and these things are much bigger down below than they would appear. So I recommend that if you're interested in a moderately sized boat, that this boat would be worth taking a look at. If you're just getting into sailing or downsizing, this boat might be ideal, and it's got all the bells and whistles, and I love it. Let's look at the Sailboat Data. Okay. Sail area displacement of over 17. Again, a quick boat. Ballast displacement of over 40. A good stiff boat in a stiff breeze. And that's what you're looking for. She's a moderate displacement boat, comfort ratio of 18. Again, more of a racer cruiser, and your capsizing screening of over 2. Again, if you don't like capsizing and worrying about rolling back over upright, don't take this boat across the Atlantic, but you probably could. And you've got an S factor of about 2.5. Again, a fast, speedy boat, fun to sail, and this boat is in cherry condition. I love it. I would take a close look at this one. A really adorable boat. And it's an Erickson build, which means it's going to have solid quality and would take you just about anywhere, and a great starter boat if that's what you're looking for. All right, let's keep moving. Coming in at number 8 this week is a 1975 Herreshoff design Bristol 30, $10,000, located in Winthrop, Mass, posted about 5 days ago by the time you see this. Now, why this boat? Because it's got a Westerbeek diesel engine that's new with only 600 hours on it. Okay, always been maintained. She has autopilot, depth finder, GPS, marine radio, updated toilet and tank, roller furling Genoa, and really just a great example of the Bristol 30. And this boat will take you just about anywhere. Let's take a look at the pictures. Your centerline sink is a sort of offset on your companionway, so you won't necessarily break your neck when you come down, and you do have a step here, which is nice. So not ideal, but not terrible either. There's your cockpit. Looks like you could do some varnishing on your teak and whatnot and clean it up a bit. But basically, you've got nice cockpit cushions, and you've got a nice little bowsprit here, and just a classic looking boat that would be a great first boat or downsize. And for that kind of price, this boat would be a fantastic investment. And it looks like the original gel coat. You can shine that up a bit and clean up the down below, and you've got a nice little boat on your hands. There's your stove, and I think you can have some fun with this. So let's look at the Sailboat Data. Not to mention it's got the Bristol pedigree, right? All right. Let's look at, where do we go here? Sailboat calculations. You got a sail area displacement over 15, which is so-so. You got a ballast displacement of nearly 40, which means she's going to be good in a stiff breeze. And she is a heavy displacement boat and a comfort ratio of nearly 30. So far on our list, she'd be the most comfortable boat to sail. Capsizing screening of under 2, which means you could go just about anywhere and not worry about righting if you ever capsize. And you've got an S factor of about 1.5, which means compared to like-sized boats, she's going to do okay. A really, really, really nice boat, and she is number 8 this week. All right, coming in at number 7 is a bit of a flyer, but hear me out. She is a 1972 Pearson 30 with an electric engine, which was just put in last season. $15,000, located in Wareham, Massachusetts, my old stomping grounds. And these Pearsons are fast, fun boats. And if you're new to sailing and are not mechanically inclined and don't want to deal with a diesel, this might be the answer for you. This new electric engine can be charged with ship to shore or solar, and it will take you anywhere, and less moving parts, less to worry about, no diesel smell, no diesel worries, no oil filter, no fuel filter changes, none of that stuff. Let's take a look. For the age, she looks to be in really nice shape. I love these companionway doors. Very cool. There's your helm station. Decks look good. The cushions and the V-berth look nice. The rest look serviceable, but a little bit dirty. It just looks like it needs a good scrub. But again, for an entry-level boat, and you don't want to deal with the mechanics of a diesel engine, this boat would be worth looking at. And it's only been on the market for about 10 days. But let's look at the Sailboat Data on this, okay? She's going to be a fast boat. Sail area displacement is 17.4, ballast displacement of 43 nearly. That's a good steady boat. and a moderate displacement and a comfort ratio of 24.25. So not quite as comfortable as the Bristol 30, but not bad. Capsizing screening of under 2 and an S factor of over 2. All of these are favorable numbers if you want a fun, responsive boat. And these Pearsons are fun, and there are a ton of them around. Fun to sail. A lot of people race them and cruising, and this would cruise them, and this would be ideal for that. All right, let's keep trucking. Coming at number 6 this week, the most expensive boat on our list, 80 grand. However, if you've that kind of dry powder, check this boat out. She's a 1967 Choi Lee offshore 40-foot yawl located in Colchester, Vermont, which is up on Lake Champlain. And again, you can get there from here and vice versa. So the name says it all. If you want to do some offshore sailing, this boat might be for you. And it's had a complete retrofit from stem to stern. Let's take a look. Obviously, cruising asymmetrical spinnaker. Looks like new all grip paint. You got new decks. This is not real teak. This is the faux teak, which is a pro and a con. Pro that it's low maintenance. Con, we don't know what's underneath. Hopefully when they did the retrofit, they took care of any problems if there were any. And you've got a bimini. And she's been in fresh water since 2009. You've got bow thrusters. Obviously new all grip, new bottom paint. All of the bright work on this boat looks exquisite. Check out this fantail. Check out this cockpit. Check out your instrument cluster, your binnacle there. It is unbelievable. Again, this boat would take you anywhere. There's your faux teak decking, and it looks to be in turnkey condition. The down below looks beautiful. All the woodwork has been well maintained. The cushions all look like they've been recovered, and this boat is ready to go. Her name is Tempest, which I think is perfect for the black paint and the black sail covers. I love this boat, and for that kind of money, you have a boat that's going to last you a lifetime. So let's look at the sailboat data on this, okay? She's got a sail area displacement of just under 16, ballast displacement ratio of 38, which is good, and you've got a displacement length of 421. She is a heavy displacement boat, and her comfort ratio of nearly 43 is the highest on this list this week, and that means this boat is going to be a sweet, comfortable ride. So if you're going to go offshore, which you would do with this boat, you're going to be snug as a bug in a rug on this thing. I love it. Capsizing screening formula of under 2, nearly 1.5, which is unheard of. Fantastic. And an S factor of under 1, which means, again, not the fastest boat in light winds. More of a coastal cruiser, but this boat, an ocean going vessel, and this boat would take you anywhere, and you don't have to get there fast because you can handle anything. I love this boat. She's number 6 this week. All right. Breaking the top 5 this week is a 1963 Allied Seawind 30-foot ketch, $13,000, located outside of Groton, Mass. Posted about 11 days ago by the time you see this. This boat is adorable, and there is an accompanying video, which we're not going to show, but I will put a link to in the listing below because it's worth taking a look at. You get a first-hand account of this boat. But you got a Volvo Penta 28 horsepower engine, which is great. You've got a propane locker at the base of the mizzen mast, and you've got a custom mahogany interior, and you've got sails that are in fair to good condition, and you've got a survey from 2016, which is basically a moot point at this point. But let's take a look at the pictures. Really nice looking little boat here with nice bright work accents. And interesting, there's my one drawback on this boat is the mizzen mast is right in front of your tiller area here, so you're going to be looking around this thing all the time. But a nice teak cockpit, nice little fantail, and she is a transom hung rudder. They did have a dog on board, so you might check out for damage from that. But otherwise, a sweet full keel boat with a nice protected prop. And it just really looks to be in nice condition. So let's look at the sailboat data on this. Not going to be the fastest boat, but she's going to be nice and steady. She is a heavy displacement boat and a comfort ratio of nearly 38, which means she's going to be a sweet ride in just about any sea state. And great for coastal and offshore sailing. I wouldn't recommend racing this boat, but she is a really nice boat and a really pretty boat. And so she is number 5 this week. All right, coming in at number 4 this week is a really beautiful 1981 28-foot Sea Sprite. Lueders designed, 40 grand, located in Lincolnville, Maine. Why 40 grand? Because she's had a complete refit, including new chain plates, deck core replacement, new cabin sole, freshwater and sanitation system, plus Full all grip paint on hull, cabin house, and decks. She's got the original universal diesel, but she's got sails that are in good shape and an asymmetrical chute, which you see here in this picture. So let's take a look at this boat. She is adorable. And from stem to stern, she looks to be in tip-top shape. Her name is Circe, which I love, and just a charming boat. And the down below looks spit polished, clean. And again, since the refit, only been on the water for one season. And you got a nice full keel, you got a nice protected prop, and there's just another shot of it. You got lazy jacks, whirler furling, all that good stuff. Let's look at the Sailboat Data on this. Not going to be the quickest boat, but she is going to be steady. She has a heavy displacement. Comfort ratio of nearly 30, so a comfortable boat in most sea states, and a capsizing screening formula of under 2 and an S factor of under 1. So capsizing screening formula is good. The S factor just means it's not going to be the quickest boat. She's a coastal cruiser, not a racer, but just a cherry little boat, and she is number 4 this week. All right, coming in at number 3 is another Bristol 29.9. We saw one of these 2 weeks ago in our fantasy edition. And here's another one. And this one is almost as nice, and I love it. It's in good condition. It's being listed by a friend, so this isn't directly from the seller, but it's noted to be in very good shape. And you've got a Garmin GPS plotter, you've got AIS receiving, you've got a VHF radio, and you've got a Yanmar 12 horsepower diesel that has been well maintained and runs like a clock, and so on and so forth. But let's look at the pictures because I love this. I don't love the fabric on your seat cushions, but I do love the overall condition of down below. It looks like the sole could use some refinishing, but overall in nice shape down below, nice and clean and tidy, which again is a mark of good seamanship, nice companionway, and just an adorable boat. And this boat will take you anywhere. You've got Bimini, Dodger. Oh, you know what you have on this? You have got the Dutchman flaking system, which, if you're not familiar with that, basically what it means is running from your boom to your boom topping lift, you have several filament lines that run through the sail, weave through the sail. So when you drop the sail, it basically flakes itself. So if you're single-handing this boat, you are set to go, and it'll be a cinch to do it. Really pretty boat. I love the shear lines on this. You've got a protected prop on a scug hung rudder. So let's take a look at the Sailboat Data on this. You've got a sail area displacement of under 15, so that's sort of ho-hum, but these two numbers are pretty great. A nice stiff boat, and she's a heavy displacement and a comfort ratio of nearly 24, so not bad. Capsizing screening under 2 and an S factor of nearly 2. So you could probably do some racing on this, definitely coastal cruising, and basically go anywhere. These Bristol 29.9s are really sweet boats. I love them, and this is another really, really pretty example of one. So if you're interested, the price on this one is $13,750, located in Windham, New Hampshire. So not too far away if you're in New England, and easy enough to get to the coast. So I love this boat. Take a look at it. She is number 3 this week. All right, we're getting close. Number 2 this week, ladies and gents, is a beautiful 1986 Erickson 32, list price of $22,500, located in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. Listed about 7 days ago by the time you see this. So why this boat? Well, first of all, the condition of this is really just, it's off the charts pretty and in good condition. All the bright work looks nice, and you got a nice helm station with newer electronics, and the down below looks absolutely perfect, which means great seamanship, which means the owners love this boat and deserves a close look. Now, let's see, what do we have in here? You've got chart plotter with GPS autopilot, and you got data marine instruments, and all of this stuff is in turnkey, ready to go condition. Bimini, Dodger, padded lifelines here in your cockpit for leaning against when you have your cocktail. Nice, pretty hull. I believe this is just a reflection off the water and not any sort of damage. But again, if you're interested in this boat, I would get a survey, especially at that price point of $22,500. But this boat is in really mint condition, and I love it. So let's look at the Sailboat Data on this. Bruce King design, by the way. And you've got a sail area displacement of nearly 18. She's going to be fast. She's going to be good in heavy weather, and she's a heavy displacement, moderate displacement boat. Comfort ratio of 23, so not too bad, but a good coastal cruiser, good racer, and capsizing screening of over 2 and a sail S factor of over 2. Fast, fun boat. Great family cruiser, great coastal cruiser, great all-around boat. She's number 2 this week. All right, here we go. Kick it on the drum. Number 1 this week is a beautiful 1964 Northeast 38-1 Lecompte Bill Trip sloop. Beautiful boat. $8,500, located in Lebanon, Connecticut. The sellers note that she's in good condition. Sad to see her go. Time for someone else to enjoy. All systems are operational and she can be used immediately. She has a Yanmar diesel, starts on a dime, and a lot of updates throughout. She is, according to the sellers, turnkey. At $8,500, I have to think there's a catch. She was listed just 6 days ago by the time you see this, and she is beautiful. Let's take a look. These beautiful all-gripped top sides. You have a wooden boom, aluminum mast, and you've got a Dodger roller furling. The down below looks neat and tidy, a market good seamanship. The woodwork all looks well kept and updated and varnished, and just a classic stunner. The head looks serviceable. Looks like it's been updated at some point, the toilet anyway, but you could use some cleaning perhaps. But for a 1964 boat at $8,500, she is a stunner. She is a beautiful boat. Here she is from behind, nice looking transom, full keel, protected prop, and look at her at sunset. What a gorgeous boat. She would be a conversation piece in any harbor in any part of this world. Let's look at the sailboat data. Okay, look. It says it's a Lecompte 38. It's really a Northeast 38-1. Okay, beautiful lines on this. I love the sheer, full keel, like I said, protected prop. And you've got a sail area displacement of under 15, so not particularly fast and lighter winds. You've got a ballast displacement of nearly 40, which is good. Displacement to length, she is a heavy displacement boat. You have a comfort ratio of nearly 34, which means she's going to be great in any sea state. This is a cool boat. Capsizing screening formula of under 2, which is fantastic. S factor of just over 1. The heavier the wind, the faster this boat's going to go. She is a beautiful boat. She is a stunner. She is hot, hot, hot. She is number 1 this week. She is a 1964 Northeast 38-1 Lecompte. What a stunner. I love this boat. Check it out for $8,500. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.